At our baby's first birthday, my MIL gave him a toy labeled from Grandma, the favorite one. I didn't say a word. But for Christmas, I had custom pajamas made for our son that read, "Loved equally despite the merchandising." She gave him another gift anyway. This time, she put no label on it. Progress. My husband and I had our first child last year, a little boy. He's sweet, healthy, loud, and pretty much runs our lives now. We're in the Midwest, not too far from Milwaukee, and we both work full-time. Our house is small but cozy. Life was finally getting some kind of rhythm, and then came the birthday party. Our baby's first birthday. We planned a small get-together with close family and a few friends. Nothing too fancy, balloons, a cake with blue icing, and a bunch of snacks. Everyone showed up. My family brought their usual cheerful energy. His family was a little more stiff, especially his mom. Let's just call her MIL. She's a lot. Now, for context, ML has always had this weird thing about being the center of attention. If she's not in control, she gets passive-aggressive. And for some reason, she acts like being a grandmother means she's been crowned queen of the universe. So she walks in with this oversized, brightly wrapped gift. Way over the top. While everyone is chatting, she pulls me aside and says, "I just know he's going to love this. It's from Grandma, after all. The favorite one." My smile froze. She said it like it was a joke, but there was no humor in her eyes. She wanted me to hear it. She wanted to be that grandma. Later, when we opened the gift, it was one of those expensive electronic learning toys. And right there, taped to the front of the box, was a shiny tag that read, in her handwriting, "From Grandma, the favorite one." I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I didn't make a scene. I just smiled politely and kept my mouth shut. Inside, I was boiling. That night, after everyone left, I told my husband. He just groaned and said, "That's just how she is." Which, okay, yes, but also, why is that an excuse? Why does she get to do stuff like this and everyone just shrugs? I didn't sleep much that night. I kept thinking about that label. How messed up it is to pull this kind of stunt at a baby's party. He's one. He doesn't even know what a grandma is yet. But she made it clear she was claiming him. Like a trophy. So I decided I wasn't going to let it slide. I wasn't going to explode or argue or cause drama. No. I was going to play her game, but better. A few weeks later, I started planning. I looked online and found this adorable local shop that makes custom baby clothes. I reached out and asked if they could embroider something on pajamas. The lady said sure. So I sent in my request. Simple. Direct. A message wrapped in a cozy pair of footy PJs. It was perfect. Christmas came fast. We hosted dinner this time. MIL showed up again, dressed like she was going to a gala instead of a family get-together. My parents were there, my husband's siblings, and a couple cousins. Cozy, loud, messy, exactly how it should be. I waited until after dinner to bring out our son in his new Christmas pajamas. As soon as ML saw him, her eyes zeroed in on the text across his chest. I saw her mouth twitch. She looked at me. I looked right back. No words exchanged. Just vibes. Later, she handed our son a gift. No tag. No label. Just a normal, plain wrapped box. I almost laughed out loud. I didn't say anything. I didn't make a comment. I didn't pat myself on the back in front of anyone. But I noticed the shift. ML was quieter that night. A little more careful. Like she knew I wasn't going to roll over anymore. And that's where things started to turn. Not dramatically. Not overnight. But little things. She started texting me instead of only my husband. She started asking what we needed instead of assuming. And she never used favorite again, not even jokingly. But she wasn't done. Because the next time we visited her house, she had another plan. And let me tell you, this time she tried to outdo the pajamas. So, after the pajama message, things went quiet for a little while. ML didn't say anything directly. No sarcastic texts, no passive-aggressive comments. I thought maybe I had actually gotten through to her. Maybe she realized how childish that whole favorite tag thing was. But I should have known better. About 3 weeks after Christmas, my husband got a text from his mom. She wanted us to come over for a late New Year's lunch. Nothing fancy, just a family thing, she said. I didn't want to go, but he gave me that look, the one that says, just go so we don't have to deal with more crap later. So I went. We packed up the diaper bag, loaded up the baby, and drove across town. When we got there, everything seemed normal at first. She hugged us, kissed the baby's cheek, offered coffee. The usual fake pleasantries. Then she said, I set up a little surprise for my grandson in the guest room. Just something fun. My stomach dropped. My husband gave me a confused look, and we followed her down the hallway. She opened the door with this big smile, like she was unveiling some grand prize. Inside the room was a toddler-sized play tent. It was shaped like a castle, filled with plush toys, books, and one of those expensive mini rocking horses. But that's not what got me. On the wall above the tent, there was a custom-made wooden sign. In bold letters, it said, Prince of Grandma's Castle. And right underneath, carved into the wood, where he's always the favorite. I froze. Literally just stood there. I looked at my husband. He looked at me. And Emile stood there smiling like she'd just solved world peace. I said nothing. I picked up my baby, turned around, and walked back into the living room. I sat down, pulled out a bottle, and started feeding him. My hands were shaking. My husband followed me a few minutes later. He sat next to me and whispered, Are we staying? I shook my head. We didn't make a scene. We didn't throw a fit. I just told Emile, Thanks for the lunch invite, but we're going to head out. He needs a nap. She looked surprised, almost offended, but didn't say anything. Maybe she thought we'd laugh about it later. Like it was just another joke. But I was done laughing. This time, I didn't wait for the next holiday. I went to my computer that night and started designing something new. Not pajamas. Not a sign. Something permanent. Something we could hang in our home, right in the baby's room. A framed print with a simple quote, Home is where love is shared equally. And under it, I added in small letters, no favorites. Just family. I had it professionally printed and framed. When it arrived, I hung it right above our baby's crib. Then I took a picture. Posted it on my private Instagram, just close friends and family. No caption, just a little heart emoji. It didn't take long. ML saw it within an hour. She liked it, then unliked it, then liked it again. The next day, she called my husband. What's with that quote? She asked. Is that about me? He told her flat out, You're reading too much into it. But I knew she wasn't. She was reading into it. Because she knew what she did. And this time, it was her turn to sit with it. 2 weeks after that, we got a surprise invite from my husband's sister. She was throwing a birthday dinner for her oldest kid and wanted us to come. She said, Mom's going to be there, just a heads up. But she's been acting different lately. Quieter. That caught my attention. We went to the party. Normal kid stuff, pizza, balloons, cupcakes. When we arrived, Emile was already there. She greeted us, smiled at the baby, and didn't say anything weird. Until we were getting ready to leave. She pulled me aside near the coat rack. Quiet voice. Serious tone. I want to talk to you, she said. I raised an eyebrow. About what? I saw the picture. The quote. I get it, she said. But you have to understand, I'm just excited to be a grandmother. I said nothing. She continued. I went overboard. I thought it was funny, but I see now how it looked. That was the first time, ever, she admitted she might have gone too far. I nodded. Okay, thank you for saying that. Then she added, but I don't think it's fair to freeze me out. He's my grandson too. I looked her in the eye. He's your grandson, not your possession. There's a difference. We stood there in silence. I could see her jaw tighten. She wasn't used to being called out, even gently. We want you around, I added, but we're not doing the favorite thing. That ends here. She didn't respond, just nodded and walked back toward the living room. But the energy shifted again. 2 days later, I got a package in the mail. No note, no return address, but I knew it was from her. Inside was a tiny baby sweater, hand-knitted, pale blue, soft wool. On the front, embroidered in tiny silver thread, it said, "Equally loved. Always." I stared at it for a long time. Then I noticed something else inside the box. A folded piece of paper. Not a card, just plain notebook paper, handwritten. "I'll do better. I want to be part of your world, not run it." I sat down and cried. For the first time in this whole thing, I actually believed her. But it wasn't over. Because just when I started to think we were making real progress, I found out about the photo album. So after the hand-knitted sweater and the note, I honestly thought we had turned a corner. I didn't fully let my guard down, but I started to breathe a little easier. My husband noticed too. He said, maybe this is the start of her getting it. We even brought the sweater to the next family dinner and let our son wear it. ML beamed when she saw it. No comments, no backhanded remarks. Just, he looks adorable. It was weirdly normal. But peace never lasts long in this family. 2 weeks later, my sister-in-law, we'll call her Jen, came over for coffee. She's the closest person to Sane on that side of the family, and we've built a decent relationship over the years. She's also one of those people who can't keep a secret to save her life. She sat down, looked around, and said, "So, have you seen the baby book?" I blinked. "What baby book?" Jen made a face. "The photo album. The one Mom made. It's got all these pictures of your son from the first year." I was confused. She made a photo album? Jen nodded. Yeah, she brought it out at brunch last weekend. Said she was making one for herself to keep at her place. But she hesitated. But what? Jen leaned in. It's weird. She cut you out of all the photos. My stomach dropped. You're either cropped out, blurred in the background, or just not in the pictures at all, she said. It's like she photoshopped herself in some of them, too. There's even one from the birthday party where she's sitting with him, and you're just gone. I was speechless. My chest tightened. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She showed it around like it was totally normal, Jen continued. Said she just wanted a grandma and baby version. But the way she said it, it felt creepy, like she was rewriting stuff. I felt sick. That night, I told my husband. He was quiet. Then he said, "That's not okay." We talked about confronting her, but honestly, what was there to say? She edited me out of my own child's life. It was beyond controlling. It was delusional. But I didn't confront her. Not right away. I waited. A few days later, ML invited us over again for dinner. I said yes. I brought my son. I brought snacks. I brought my fake smile. Halfway through dessert, I casually said, "Hey, Jen told me you've been working on a photo album. I'd love to see it." Her smile twitched. "Oh, it's not finished yet," she said, too quickly. "I don't mind," I replied. I love baby albums. "I'm doing one too." She hesitated, then sighed. "Okay, sure. It's just a rough draft." She went to the other room and came back with a large white binder. She handed it to me like it was nothing. I opened it, and there it was. Page after page of photos, just her and my son. In some, you could clearly see where she had used filters or digital tools to blur the background. In others, she had cropped them so tightly you could barely see the room around them. There were even a few where she used screenshots from my Instagram, but zoomed in so far my arm or hand was cut out. No mention of me. No pictures of me. It was like I didn't exist. "This is beautiful," I said, keeping my voice steady. "But why aren't I in any of these?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "It's just a grandma album. A keepsake." I looked her dead in the eye. "I'm his mother. You cutting me out isn't a keepsake. It's a problem." She opened her mouth, probably to deflect, but I didn't let her. You've gone too far. Again. This isn't a joke. This isn't funny. This is disturbing. She tried to say she didn't mean anything by it. That it was just for her own personal scrapbook. That I was overreacting. I stood up, took my baby in my arms, and said, "We're leaving." And we did. That night, she sent a string of long texts to my husband. All the usual stuff. I'm just trying to be part of his life. You're letting her control everything. I feel attacked. He didn't respond. He was just as creeped out as I was. 2 days later, Jen texted me again. "You're not going to believe this," she said. Apparently, ML had shown the album to some extended family at a dinner. And one of them, ML's cousin, called her out in front of everyone. Said, "Why is the baby's mom not in a single photo?" ML apparently got red in the face and said, "This isn't about her. It's about me and him." Yup, she said that. So now the extended family knows. Some of them are backing off. Others are just whispering behind her back. Either way, she's rattled. She hasn't contacted me since. But just when I thought the storm was quieting, Jen called me again. "There's one more thing," she said. "I don't want to cause drama, but I thought you should know." She paused. She tried to open a college fund for him. In her name. Without telling you. So after I found out ML tried to open a college fund in her own name for the baby, I was done playing nice. Let me explain what she did. She went to a local bank, one that she's had accounts with for decades, and asked to open a custodial account in our son's name. She said she was the guardian and told them she was helping her kids out with early savings. The banker, probably seeing an older lady with money, didn't question it. She used our son's full legal name and her address. She even added herself as the primary contact and manager of the account. I only found out because Jen, bless her nosy heart, saw the paperwork when she was over at ML's house and took a photo when ML left the room. My hands were shaking when I called the bank. I had to go in person, bring my son's birth certificate, and show them my ID and proof of custody. The banker looked horrified when he realized what had happened. The account was flagged and immediately frozen. Legal called me the next day and confirmed ML had violated several banking policies and possibly state financial laws, depending on how she framed it. We didn't press charges, but I wanted to. That night, my husband and I sat down and had the talk we'd been avoiding. This wasn't just about gifts or jokes or even photos. This was someone trying to replace me in my own child's life. Someone who thought she had the right to overstep, again and again, no matter the boundaries we set. And yeah, I had made mistakes too. I thought being quiet was the high road. That if I didn't stir the pot, things would get better. But all it did was give her room to grow bolder. My silence looked like permission. I let too much slide in the beginning. But not anymore. I didn't scream at her. I didn't send a nasty message. I didn't confront her in public. I wrote a letter. I printed out photos, ones she hadn't seen. Moments of me and my son. Laughing, playing, reading books. Him sleeping on my chest. Him taking his first steps, reaching for me. I labeled each one with a date and a small caption. Real memories. Not fantasy. Then I wrote, "You don't have to be the center of his world. You just have to be part of it. But you've tried to erase me. You've made this about control, not love. If you want to be in his life, it starts with respecting mine." I printed the letter, put it in a folder with the photos, and I mailed it. No text, no heads up, just the truth. Then my husband and I set firm rules. No more unsupervised visits. No gifts without both our approval. No private accounts, funds, or keepsakes behind our backs. And if she ever overstepped again, we were cutting contact completely. She didn't respond right away. But a week later, we got a card in the mail. A basic card with a note inside that said, "I was wrong. I thought I knew better. I didn't see what I was doing until you made me look. I'm sorry." And taped inside the card was a check. made out to me and my husband. In the memo line, it said, for his future. Handled by his parents. She finally got it. Sort of. Here's the thing. Family can love you and still mess you up. They can mean well and still cross every line. And sometimes you're so busy trying not to be dramatic that you let people walk all over you. I let her have too much space in our story. I thought biting my tongue was mature. That being above it would make her change. But the truth is, people only change when you force them to see what they're doing. My silence didn't protect my son. Speaking up did. And I'll never stay quiet again. The sweater she made? We kept it. But we framed it instead of letting him wear it again. It hangs next to the quote in his room now. Not because it's cute, but because it reminds me that love without respect isn't love at all. She still sees him. She still sends gifts. But every step is now on our terms. And if she ever forgets again? Well, I've got the whole album ready. And this time, I'm in every page.